I'm the founder CEO of BiblioNasium. It's a very cool site that's helping, I guess, get teachers, students, kids, parents to share what books they're reading and what they're doing. And she's going to tell you why books are like shoes, which I'm curious to hear about.
Thank you. Well, let me, there's...
It's coming. It's coming.
Can we skip this one then?
If you want, if you got the time, sure.
I thought this was going to be a title slide for him, so I have another 6 seconds. I can do a little dance for you before the slide changes, but anyway, I'll start at the beginning. So while I was at Penn, I learned how to code, and I took really geeky, nerdy courses like database structures and assembly language, and that served me really well because after graduation, I got a job at a tech startup, where I ended up sitting 22 hours a day plugging computers in and serving coffee to the senior developers. But that served me well because from there I went on and I built great products and technology platforms. And then life was great. I got married and we went on vacations and we slept in late, we woke up late, we went out to movies, we went out to dinner, and then we decided, well, everything is great, so let's have some kids. So then we had some kids and life changed and priorities changed, the pace changed, and before we knew it, we had to figure out preschool, then applying to preschool, and this is before the kid could even walk or talk, was even potty trained. So what are we going to do? The first thing we got to do, of course, is get the kid to read. So, of course, we start reading to the kid in the bathroom, in the bathtub, in the car, in the bed, anywhere we could find, audio books, phonics books, and of course, that strategy eventually paid off, and the kid started to read, except he discovered Captain Underpants and the Talking Toilets. Believe me, this book exists. And he wanted to read this book over and over and over again. He's like, I don't know what else to read. I love this book. So I'm like, this is really bizarre. So I looked at Harry Potter, and I said, read Harry Potter. So he read the first Harry Potter, he read the second Harry Potter, he never cracked open the third Harry Potter. So I was like, this is really bizarre. I told my husband, this is the only kid in America who doesn't like Harry Potter. So I was having lunch with a friend of mine and I told her that, and she's like, of course, what did you think? It didn't fit. Like, what do you mean it didn't fit? She's like, well, don't you know, books are like shoes. When you go buy a pair of shoes, do you ask the guy, I want a shoe for a 2nd grader or an 8-year-old? No. You have to have his measured. Once it's measured, then you look for the shoe. It's the same thing with books. The fit matters. So what you want to do is you first get a snapshot of where this kid is, and then once you have the size, then you look for the shoe and what's trending and what's popular. Why not? So I'm like, that sounds really interesting. So how do I do that? I said, well, there's a few standards, but the most popular standard is widely used is a Lexile measure, and kids have a Lexile measure for their reading, and books have a Lexile measure for their reading. And the idea is that you want to match these two. Luckily, there are 1.4 million books in the kids and teens categories, so there's plenty of books for kids in all sizes and with all interests. It was great information. So then I had my daughter who actually likes to read, so she was always thinking about the next book to read. Mom, what am I going to read next? Mom, what am I going to read? So I had a bunch of books that I liked as a child, so I recommended to her, but she never remembers them. And I said to her, well, let me do what most parents do. I'll go online and I Google best books for kids. So what happens? I get so much information, I don't even know where to start. Award-winning books, the bestseller books, top 100 books. It's like, I don't even know where to start. Go ask your teacher. Mr. Keating has the best list of books. So Mr. Keating writes up a list of books for my daughter, and then he prints it out and hands it to her, and she comes home with a piece of paper, and I don't need to tell you what happens to that piece of paper. So then, we're back to the original problem. What to read next? So I got one kid who I got to engage and excite to read, and then I have another kid who wants to read, but I run out of recommendations and suggestions for her to read. So then I started to think about the millions of kids who every year are falling behind because they are wearing the wrong size shoe. And every year the gap increases between the size of their feet and the shoe they're expected to wear. So then I think about my geeky, nerdy background at Penn, and maybe technology can help solve this problem. How about if we create a social platform where we connect kids to the three constituents that most influence what they read, their friends, their parents, and their teachers, and we create a community to support them, and then also give them the ability to sort through these millions of books to find books that are the right fit and the size for them. So that's what I did, and we launched BiblioNasium, where kids flex their reading muscles, and our mission is to raise stronger readers, and we do that by creating a strong community around them and training kids to read with the right shoe. We launched last June, and we've got 22,000 registered students already on it, so very excited to share this.